Hello and welcome to the week. Today we are with none other than our favorite chef, Chef Ranveer Brar. Hi. He's gonna be there in many more movies and series. So we've got plenty to talk to. And welcome to the week, sir. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
So let's start with something quick and snappy. We've got these questions, rapid fire session. Okay, and here we go. You are your happiest cooking or acting?
I'm my happiest cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when do we, one dish nobody else can prepare as good as you.
I think a soft centered omelette. I take great pride in like a soft centered cheese omelette. I always say cooking eggs is one of the most trickiest things to do.
Right.
And it gives the most satisfaction to crack a good omelette.
A highly popular dish you feel is overrated.
So I think every dish that we have is popular for a reason. I wouldn't call it overrated, but sometimes you sort of you tend to wonder. Sometimes you tend to wonder कि भाई हम लोग आपस में खाने को लेके इतना झगड़ते क्यों, है ना? What is underrated in one part is overrated in another. Food is supposed to unite, so that's the only thing.
Right. One thing you're really bad at.
One thing I'm really bad at is
an aspect,
basically not saying things. कई बार होता है ना कि यार रणवीर ये नहीं बोलना है, ठीक है? ये नहीं बोलना है. And I continuously tell myself ये नहीं बोलना है to the point where I end up saying the same thing.
Okay.
I'm very bad at that.
Okay. The one dish that took ages to prepare and that you wouldn't ever do again, like in one of your shows or something, maybe pre-preparation for the show or something like that. One dish you'll never make again. It just frustrated you, something like that.
Not really, but I always say all these. Personally, if you ask me, I love cooking curries and I love cooking.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
हाँ, कोरमा करी क्या है ना, एक बार में एक हांडी बनाई आपने और 10 के लिए या 100 के लिए एक साथ बन गया.
True.
और उसमें फिर आपका टेस्ट और टैलेंट पता चलता है. ये जो स्नैक्स है ना छोटे मोटे चटकारे वाले, these I just feel कि इनमें बड़ा झंझट है, so I always say that they are tricky to make.
Right. Which has been the most popular item that you've cooked on your YouTube show?
I don't go through the number of views per se regularly, but I'm assuming it's probably one of them is the tawa pizza, which we did in the lockdown.
Yes.
Very simple recipe, sometimes all you need is just explain a simple recipe simply to people.
Right.
So that was the time when people weren't getting access to pizza, so he said, here you go. You don't need
went viral, it caught on so fast.
Yeah, I think it's close to 10 million views now.
Wow, 10 million views. Take that. Right. Okay. One character, let's move to films. One character in the recent films you think you could have done a fantastic job in. You must have watched some recent movies that have come out and, in which you would have liked to see yourself.
I know. I think, having grown up in a sort of a Fauji background, I always felt, and it was done so beautifully by Vicky Paji.
Yeah.
Paji, love you for that role, but I loved to play General Sam Manekshaw.
Right. Yeah. It was as if we could see him in blood and flesh on the screen.
He's very good.
Yeah. You would like to be reborn as?
I'd like to be reborn as, I don't know, Elvis Presley maybe.
Oh, music.
Music, okay. Yeah, and I think music and the freedom to express.
Freedom, yeah, right. The most successful period of your life was when you were?
I don't know. I think it's still to come. I think it's still a journey. Success is never a destination. So I personally believe abhi to bahut dur jana hai.
Right. What about you is more popular than you?
If you Google Ranveer Brar, the first thing that comes up is Ranveer Brar wife. So that about me is more popular than me.
Okay. Pallavi ma'am, listening. Okay. One change you'd like to see in the food industry and one in the film industry.
I think both the spaces. I am a very small speck in the bigger scheme of things and how beautiful these industries are. बहुत बहुत अदना है हम दोनों इंडस्ट्रीज में बट फूड इंडस्ट्री आई थिंक एक्सेप्टेंस कई बार हम बहुत स्टक हो जाते हैं अपने आइडियाज को लेके एज अ शेफ अपने थॉट्स को लेके ऑथेंटिसिटी को लेके समटाइम्स वी गेट टू स्टक टू परफेक्शन आई थिंक यू नो it's food is also about letting loose and it's also about letting be. I think that's something that I'd want to put out there. With films, I don't know. I think more films which are off the beaten path.
Right.
Having grown up in the 80s where art movies were a genre. Right. And every time you had a Farooq Sheikh or a Shabana Azmi or an Amol Palekar movie, you knew it would speak a different language, touch a different topic. And so those movies kept a very big window of performance open. I think the OTT is trying to do that in today's times. But I think you miss that sometimes.
Right. A mentor you cannot thank enough.
Hansal sir. I think, Mr. Hansal Mehta, it's because of you that I got the confidence to even think that I could act, forget about acting. And the confidence that he has showed in me. And sometimes, I was listening to MSD's interview piche, और वो यही बोल रहे थे कि sometimes confidence works better than talent, and he makes you so empowered and confident, Hansal sir, that even if you don't have talent, you pull through.
Wow. That's quite something. And in the food industry, do you want to?
Food industry, you had different mentors at different stages. You look up to different people because that's your core now. For 25 years, you've changed as a person, as a chef. So हर जगह पे आपके different ideals होते हैं. Chef Sanjeev used to be an ideal. He's an idol for all of us. I look up to Vikas for a lot of things. I look up to my time chef, Wolfgang Puck used to be a big inspiration. Charlie Trotter used to be a big inspiration growing up. Gary Rhodes, Rick Stein. And our home cooking.
Of course. Right. One thing you hate to eat?
ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है, but बहुत सारी शिमला मिर्च मेरे को नहीं अच्छी लगती. I think other than aloo shimla mirch, too much shimla mirch puts me off. Also, excessive zucchini in continental dishes sometimes puts me off. मुझे लगता है कि यार सिर्फ zucchini से कोई चीज exotic नहीं होती ना.
True. A stupidest decision you've taken?
It can't be a stupidest decision. Okay. I mean, it has to be the list of stupidest decisions that I take all the time.
Right.
But no decision is stupid. I think the outcome. Every decision that I believe, and I encourage the team to do that as well, that every decision that you take is the right decision at that time.
For that time,
2 years later, 3 years later, you always say कि नहीं, that was not a good decision. But जब आप वहाँ पे खड़े होते हो crossroads पे, तो आपको right या left turn होना ही है, आप खड़े नहीं रह सकते ना. तो आपने जो decide किया वो सही decision था.
Right. High point of your life, in your life that you would tell?
I think Ishan being born. Yeah.
How old is he right now?
He's 9.
A low point of life?
Low point? Maybe, I don't know if it's a low point, but maybe the restaurant closing in the US. My first restaurant not working. It feels low because suddenly it was a sudden low. From a very high to a very low, it came all of a sudden. You weren't ready for it. But again, it had more learnings than anything else.
Right. Worst career advice you've been given?
हाँ, इतने negative question क्यों है? Low point, worst advice.
We have fun questions too.
So worst career advice मेरे को तो किसी ने मैंने सुनी नहीं किसी की. Nobody. I never listen to people advising me. I always feel advice is a form of dispensing nostalgia. It's basically everybody out there giving you their life's nostalgia as advice.
Right.
So I don't give advice and I don't
take advice. Right.
It's like repurposing an old car. पुरानी कार को
right.
पेंट वेंट करके किसी के सामने रख दिया, बोला ये advice.
Right. An item on your bucket list you've just ticked off and one that you're about to take off.
An item on my bucket list that I just ticked off.
Yeah.
I think acting was on the bucket list. That is one that I'm about to tick off. Hopefully very soon, skydiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Nice. All right. I think we have just two more. One thing you will change about yourself if you had to?
I think with age, you become less risk averse. You know, I'd like to be a little more fearless, a little more open to taking risks.
Right.
The 27-year-old risk-taking ability being a 47-year-old is what I'd like.
Right. A film you watched over and over again and can't get enough of it already?
Shawshank Redemption. I think that has to be.
Yeah.
That has to be on the top of the list. Which one?
And a horror film. Tell me about a horror film that's really scared you.
I think it was interestingly scary.
Yeah. Tell us about the projects that are coming up. Tell us how.
So we're looking at a few restaurants. We're looking at expanding the Kashkan brand in Dubai.
Right.
We're looking at a few restaurants in Dubai, some more in the Middle East. We're looking for partners in the Middle East to help us expand to Saudi. So that is one. There's a new book that's coming up. We just launched a book. I'll give it to you. And there's a new one that's coming up. So a book is around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that,
and
just waiting on Buckingham Murders to release.
Yeah.
Officially, you know, it's been doing the circles of various film festivals.
Yeah.
Once it releases, then I'm looking to actually see where do we go forward with acting.
Right. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of you on the screen as well, on the big screen, on OTT and stuff. You're all, as in you're open to doing much more acting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think life gives you that choice, right? If it has given me a choice, I'm very, very happily embrace it.
All right, looking forward to seeing so much more of you, Ranveer. Thank you so much for talking to The Week.
Thank you.